3:47 a.m. Eastern Pacific. Chinese surveillance satellites lock onto 17 U.S. Navy vessels. Real-time tracking begins. No warning, no declaration. Live American warships become targets in Beijing's most audible military exercise yet. The Pentagon issues immediate warning. This isn't a drill. This is China testing the kill chain that could sink a carrier strike group before the first missile even launches. Welcome to Warfare Signal, where cutting-edge military operations meet strategic reality. The South China Sea, August 2024. U.S. 7th Fleet conducting routine freedom of navigation operations. USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group. 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. 2 Ticonderoga-class cruisers. 5 support vessels. Total value, $42 billion in American naval power. What the sailors didn't know? Every ship was being tracked. Every movement cataloged. Every vulnerability assessed. Chinese Eastern Theater Command activated Operation Sentinel Strike. Not a simulation, not a war game. A live fire coordination test using real American targets as practice dummies. Here's what made this unprecedented. Chinese intelligence satellites, Yaogan 30 series, achieved continuous track. 16 surveillance assets in coordinated orbit. Each satellite passing overhead every 47 minutes. Overlapping coverage creating real-time tracking grid. The American ships never left Chinese eyes. But satellites were just phase 1. Over-the-horizon radar stations along China's coast activated. Type 052D destroyers deployed 400 miles offshore. Long-range reconnaissance aircraft, KJ-500 AWACS, airborne for 14-hour missions. Underwater surveillance network monitoring acoustic signatures. The result? Complete battlespace awareness of U.S. naval forces 800 miles from Chinese coast. China's Southern Theater Command synthesized the data. Satellite imagery, radar returns, electronic emissions, acoustic profiles, all feeding into centralized command system that calculated firing solutions for weapons that hadn't launched yet. This is what Pentagon analysts call left-of-launch capability. The ability to target and track before weapons even leave their tubes. What's your take on this surveillance capability? Type A if this changes everything. Type B if America can counter this. The technology behind China's coordination is staggering. DF-21D anti-ship ballistic missiles. Range, 1,500 kilometers. Speed, Mach 10 terminal phase. Warhead, 600 kilograms. Each missile guided by satellite navigation and active radar seeker. The carrier killer that keeps admirals awake at night. But DF-21D was old news in this exercise. China deployed DF-26 intermediate-range ballistic missiles. Range extended to 4,000 kilometers. Dual-capable payload, conventional or nuclear. Flight time to carrier strike group, 12 minutes from inland launch sites. The ships would have 8 minutes warning after detection. 8 minutes to defend against hypersonic warhead traveling Mach 15. The exercise coordination revealed China's actual capability. Launch sequences for 47 different missile platforms were calculated simultaneously. Mobile DF-21D launchers in Fujian Province. DF-26 batteries in Jiangxi Province. YJ-18 anti-ship cruise missiles on Type 055 destroyers. CJ-10 land attack cruise missiles on H-6K bombers. All targeting data synchronized through Beidou satellite navigation system, China's answer to GPS, with accuracy measured in centimeters. Stay with me, because the targeting methodology gets more sophisticated. Chinese command calculated what they call saturation threshold, the maximum number of defensive missiles a U.S. destroyer can launch before reload. For Arleigh Burke class, 96 VLS cells. Each cell typically loaded with SM-2, SM-3, or SM-6 interceptors. Engagement rate, 18 to 20 missiles per minute maximum. China's solution? Launch 200 missiles at carrier strike group simultaneously. The math is brutal. 3 destroyers, maximum 60 intercepts per minute. Ticonderoga cruiser adds 30 intercepts. Carrier's RIM 162 Sea Sparrow adds 16 intercepts. Total defensive capability, 106 intercepts per minute in perfect conditions. Against 200 incoming missiles arriving in 90-second wave, the defensive systems saturate, missiles leak through, impacts occur. This is the scenario China practiced using live U.S. naval positions. The Pentagon's warning wasn't diplomatic theater. It was recognition that China had demonstrated end-to-end targeting capability against American carriers using real-time data from actual fleet positions. But here's where it gets more complex. Chinese exercise included electronic warfare component. Type 055 destroyers activated jamming systems targeting Link 16 data link, the communication backbone connecting U.S. Navy vessels. GPS jamming attempted against navigation systems. Cyber operations probed satellite communication links. The goal? Blind the defensive systems during saturation attack. U.S. Pacific Fleet immediately adjusted operational security. Emission controls tightened. Navigation patterns randomized. Electronic warfare officers on high alert. The message was clear. We know you're watching, and we're adapting. What would you have done commanding that carrier strike group? Comment your tactical response below. The strategic implications extend beyond technology demonstration. China proved it can execute coordinated strike across multiple domains simultaneously: space-based surveillance, over-the-horizon radar, submarine acoustic tracking, surface vessel targeting, air-launched missiles, land-based ballistic systems, all synchronized through command network that updates targeting data in real time. This is what modern naval warfare looks like. The U.S. response revealed priorities. Immediate diplomatic protest lodged with Beijing. Military-to-military communication channels activated. But more significantly, operational changes implemented immediately. Carrier strike groups increased separation distances. Electronic warfare posture elevated. Aegis combat systems updated with new threat parameters. SM-6 missile inventory reviewed for saturation defense scenarios. The Navy wasn't panicking, it was adapting. Because here's what China's exercise also revealed: the limitations. Tracking 17 vessels requires massive intelligence infrastructure operating at peak efficiency. Any degradation in satellite coverage creates gaps. Jamming can work both ways. Electronic warfare cuts both directions. And most critically, China's exercise used cooperative targets that maintained predictable patterns. Combat introduces chaos that perfect coordination struggles to manage. U.S. Navy's response doctrine evolved rapidly. Distributed maritime operations concept emphasized. Instead of concentrated carrier strike groups, forces spread across larger areas. Smaller surface action groups with enhanced anti-air warfare capabilities. Submarines operating independently with land attack cruise missiles. The strategy? Make Chinese targeting problem exponentially more complex. If you're following this deep dive into modern naval warfare, hit that subscribe button for Warfare Signal. We bring you the operational reality others miss. The technology race accelerated after August 2024. U.S. Navy fast-tracked hypersonic missile programs, conventional prompt strike weapon designed for Virginia-class submarines. Speed, Mach 17. Range, 1,700+ nautical miles. The ability to strike Chinese command centers before DF-21D leaves its launcher. Aegis combat system received upgraded SPY-6 radar. Detection range increased 100%. Discrimination capability enhanced against ballistic missile warheads. Integration with SM-6 Block IB missiles providing hypersonic intercept capability. The defensive answer to China's saturation doctrine. But technology wasn't the only countermeasure. Pentagon authorized forward deployment of additional assets. 7th Fleet reinforced with 3rd Carrier Strike Group. Japan-based destroyer squadron expanded. Guam received additional bomber rotations. The physical presence that complicates Chinese targeting. More targets, more defensive systems. more uncertainty for Beijing's planners. The intelligence war intensified parallel to technology competition. U.S. Space Force deployed additional reconnaissance satellites. National Reconnaissance Office activated new signals intelligence platforms. Submarine surveillance network expanded in South China Sea. The goal: achieve parity in battlespace awareness. If China can track American carriers, America would track Chinese launchers. Cyber Command engaged in what officials carefully termed defensive operations. Chinese satellite ground stations experienced mysterious technical difficulties. Command network communications showed unusual latency. Beidou navigation signals encountered interference in specific regions. The message was subtle but clear. You can play this game, but remember who invented it. Was this surveillance demonstration a strategic victory for China, or a tactical mistake revealing capabilities too early? Leave your analysis in the comments. The exercise aftermath produced unexpected diplomatic dynamics. Regional allies recalibrated threat assessments. Japan accelerated destroyer procurement. Australia expanded submarine program. South Korea enhanced ballistic missile defense. The demonstration that was meant to intimidate actually catalyzed coalition strengthening. Beijing's strategic planners may have revealed too much too soon. Because every capability demonstrated becomes capability that opponents prepare to counter. China showed the tracking network. America now develops network degradation operations. China proved coordination capability. America designs coordination disruption tactics. The intelligence value of August 2024 exercise might favor the U.S. in long run. The operational lessons transformed U.S. naval doctrine fundamentally. Carrier strike groups no longer operate as single concentrated formations. Distributed lethality doctrine implemented fleet-wide. Surface combatants operate independently with organic strike capability. Submarines patrol forward with land attack missiles ready. The formation that China practiced against no longer exists in that configuration. Electronic warfare became paramount capability. Every surface combatant equipped with advanced jamming systems. Satellite communication hardened against interference. Navigation systems supplemented with inertial guidance independent of GPS or Beidou. The U.S. Navy learning to fight in degraded electromagnetic environment. Support this kind of detailed tactical analysis by giving this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to Warfare Signal for more operational breakdowns. The future of Pacific naval warfare crystallized in August 2024 exercise. China demonstrated it possesses technology and coordination to threaten American carriers. But demonstration also revealed dependencies on space-based assets, communication networks, and perfect information that real combat would degrade immediately. The U.S. proved it can adapt operational doctrine faster than China can field new capabilities. Distributed operations, enhanced electronic warfare, forward-deployed strike assets, allied coalition strengthening. The balance remains dynamic rather than decisively shifted. Here's what the August 2024 exercise ultimately proved. Modern naval warfare is information war first, and weapons war second. The side that can target accurately while denying accurate targeting to opponent holds the advantage. China showed it can do the former. America demonstrated it can deny the latter. The competition continues at technological frontier, where satellites track ships and electrons jam signals, and commanders calculate probability curves for saturation attacks that might never come. This is 21st century naval power, not battleship broadsides, not carrier deck launches, but electromagnetic spectrum dominance and networked kill chains, and the silent satellites that make targeting possible. Quiz answer from earlier. How long would a carrier strike group have to respond to DF-26 launch? 8 minutes from detection to impact. In that time, detect launch, calculate trajectory, assign interceptors, launch defensive missiles, employ electronic countermeasures, and execute evasive maneuvers. 8 minutes between normal operations and potential catastrophe. 3 questions for you. Can China's tracking network function in real combat conditions? Will U.S. distributed operations doctrine counter saturation attacks? What's the next frontier in this naval technology competition? The August 2024 exercise wasn't the beginning of U.S.-China naval competition. It was the moment that competition moved from theoretical to operational, from planning to practice, from capability to demonstration. The Pentagon's warning acknowledged reality. China can target American carriers with unprecedented accuracy using coordination that would have been impossible 5 years ago. But the U.S. response demonstrated something equally important. American naval power adapts, doctrine evolves, technology accelerates, and the fleet that China practiced against in August won't be the fleet that sails in the Pacific next year. This is modern great power competition, not fought with bullets yet, but fought with satellites and sensors and the silent collection of targeting data that could, in different circumstances, guide weapons to their marks. The stakes? Control of the Pacific, access to Taiwan Strait, freedom of navigation through South China Sea, the trade routes that carry $5 trillion in annual commerce. China's August 2024 exercise was message. We can reach your carriers anywhere in Western Pacific. America's response was equally clear. Try it and find out what happens when perfect plans meet combat chaos. Subscribe to Warfare Signal, where we break down the operations that shape modern warfare. Hit that notification bell so you never miss the tactical reality behind the headlines. Because August 2024 wasn't just another exercise. It was the moment both sides recognized the next Pacific conflict won't be fought the way the last one was. It will be faster, more coordinated, more lethal, and decided by whoever can target accurately while remaining untargeted. That's the competition that continues today. In satellite orbits 300 miles up, in submarine depths 600 feet down, in electromagnetic spectrum only computers can see. The question isn't whether Chinese capabilities are impressive. They are. The question is whether impressive capabilities translate to decisive advantage in combat conditions that haven't existed yet. August 2024 proved China can track carriers. What it didn't prove is whether those carriers could be killed when they're shooting back. That answer remains unknown, and hopefully stays that way. Warfare Signal, where operational reality meets strategic analysis.